In today's podcast, me and Zach sit down and we get to talk about the truths that we found in the path to obtaining our goals or anything in between, especially the things along the way that can stop you from achieving your goals. This one was a blessing to do. It was amazing. We enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it too. Thank you for listening.
Hey guys, Nick here.
What's going on, y'all? Zach here,
We're just two guys trying to make the world a better place.
and welcome to the Doors.
We're recording.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the Doors. Well, we believe that the people that become successful are the ones that do it by following their heart and taking their time. As always, I am your host, Zachary Otts, here with my co-host,
Nicholas Sternloff.
and let's open up some doors today, you guys.
Damn right. That was a great opening, bro. I see you out here.
We're working on it.
Man,
So-
I'm digging real quick before we even get anything, dude. I like the vibes we got going on today. I think we got the vibes that we have going into this year. Just it's immaculate, man. I enjoy it so much.
I enjoy it too, brother. It keeps me grounded. And for you listening today, we're going to be going in depth to goal setting, limiting factors, trials, tribulations, how to set those goals, and ultimately how to leave your legacy. So, when you're trying to do this, Nick, when you're trying to set goals, because we did it in the form of a year, a 5-year term, and a 10-year term, correct?
Yes, and especially for setting these goals that we're going to go into, we're not putting crazy depth or crazy and like thought into this. We're just putting some ideas to the pen and the pad that allow us to continue to make steps moving forward, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's the way to do it. But before we jump into goal setting and leaving your legacy and your 1-year goal, your 5-year goal, and your 10-year goal, I just want to give you just a little bit of words of wisdom that I heard today, and I want you to remember that you are enough. You are enough to accomplish your dreams. If someone told you that you can't do something, it's probably because they don't have the courage enough to start themselves. So if you needed someone to tell you, you needed, someone to smack you on the head or smack you on the butt and tell you, hey, you can do this. This is it. You can do it. And you are enough. So stay rooted and get your shit done. All right.
Ain't that the truth?
Nick,
Ain't that the
why don't you
truth?
start us off, brother? Why don't you start us off, man? Like, talk to us a little bit about, yourself, what your goals are, and how'd you go about kind of setting these goals?
Well, the interesting thing is about this too is like, as you're setting goals, you have to understand that there's going to be hurdles you face. So what I really sat down and did, because I have an understanding of some of the goals that I want to accomplish that we've talked about constantly to the doors, whether it be being financially stable, whether it be having this conference, whether it be traveling and do things that I enjoy. To be able to get to where I want to go, you also have to understand the things that you're going to face. So basically, exactly what Zach was talking about, what I did and what he did for this, especially just to get a good mindset and help move us moving forward, wrote down some things that are going to be in our way, as well as the things that we want to accomplish and how they coincide and how they continue to work together, and how that can lead to almost taking the steps. That's going to allow me to take the steps that I need to take to accomplish the goals that I have set. And I can already see, like, over the past 2 years, I can see the movements done. I have all the scripture. I've written it all down in notebooks. So to watch the growth that I've made by doing some of the things that we're talking about, it's fantastic. So I sat down, and this is what I said. I basically sat there and I was like, okay, what are my biggest hurdles that are going to stop me from achieving my goals of becoming financially stable, of creating this convention, of being happy, all these different things that I want to be. What are those hurdles going to be? And in my first year, I wrote down in my notebook, I'm reading it right now. It says, what is my biggest hurdle that I will face this year in 2021? Here's what it is. I think letting my actions speak louder than my words. I have a lot of things I'm trying to accomplish this year, and it's going to be great. I'm someone that understands the power of words and how they can move people. And so now it's making sure that my actions and the things that I can do in the real world match exactly up to that. You know what I mean, Zach?
Yeah, man, completely. We have limiting factors every day, man. Continue.
And to dive into, I did this thing on each one of these too, is that I wanted to think a little more in depth about it. I didn't want to put ridiculous amount of effort into it, because that takes way too much time, y'all. Like, we all have busy lives to live, but we all want to be able to achieve the things we want to achieve, right? So the in-depth that I wrote about this, exactly what I said, letting my actions speak louder than my words, is why is it so hard to take action? Why is it so hard to accomplish your goals? Why is it so hard to do those things? Zach, why do you think it's so hard to take action?
So, man, I think we have to go right back to that first question you asked, Nick. And it's, I worded it a little different, but what are my limiting factors in my life? And I feel like when you've asked yourself this question, you need to write it on a piece of paper, because sometimes you're not going to like the things that you see about yourself or you hear about yourself. And the reason why Nick and I are so practical, and the reason why we love to write things down, is because you really get to see on paper who you are as a person. So going back to that question, what are your limiting factors? And I feel like the answer is always going to be yourself. It's always going to be yourself, because you live with yourself day in and day out. Matthew McConaughey said something on that Green Lights book, and he said, you may go to bed with someone, but you sleep alone.
You're completely
there's
right.
all of these different.
Continue.
Yes, sir. There's all these different aspects, Nick, and you guys listening. You have vanity, your work ethic, your attitude's a big one. That's the one that people usually remember. Your starting line. How have your parents impacted your life? Your environment. Do you got enough willpower to succeed, to move forward, to accomplish your goals? Are you, is your character good, or do you live in a state of fear or sin? And if it just hasn't happened to you yet, are you willing to be consistent? Are you willing to keep knocking on that door until someone opens? There's all kinds of limiting factors, Nick, that can really just drag you down. And for myself, instead of putting labels on them, I'm just going to classify that as myself. Myself will hold me back. But guess what?
That's so important too, because real quick to interject that about not letting limiting factors or labeling them. At the end of the day, if you label something in a certain way, most of the time you put the blame on some other factor that couldn't be. Like I've been very vocal lately about me and my limiting factors, and the biggest thing is myself, and I have to realize that in the situation.
Yeah. We talked about it last week, Nick, when we were talking about turn the page or burn the page. Don't be scared to do either in your life. And also, don't allow your circumstances, your limiting factors, what your roadblocks, whatever they are, don't let them tell you who the fuck you are. Hell no. Don't let them tell you that. You tell yourself, this is who I am, and be it, dude, and just be it.
And look, so there's two sides to this coin, exactly what he's talking about. And I talked about it with actually my buddy George in my Behind the Doors podcast a couple of days ago. And there's a point in there I say, this is so important. What Zach's talking about right now is so important, and not only my life, his life, but everyone else's as well. Is that, of course, you can't let other people tell you who you are. You can't sit there and go through it's hard to go through life with people that don't believe in you. But at the end of the day, it is okay to cut those people off. It is okay to not let those people back into your life, and it is okay to forgive them and move on and hope them to be better, as well as to allow them to grow, whatever it may be, whatever your situation is. It's okay. Life is crazy. You don't know what's going to happen. There's 7.8 billion people with free will, but it's okay to be in the situation you're in. It's okay to feel how you're supposed to feel. It's okay to do anything. You're human.
Wow. You know, it's one of those things, Nick, that I I've been really thankful for, and I was thinking of, you know, how can I put this into terms that people understand? You know, how do I put this in a way that's not gonna make me sound crazy? And I feel like a lot of people go through this, you know, especially when they're trying to set goals for themselves or get out of where they're at in life, or just start something new. I feel like people are a blessing and a curse, but decide what we're going to be and then go and do it. But where people get lost, especially with your goals, or myself included, myself, I get lost in trying to do something that no one's else has done, and I don't even know what that is. And you know, for you guys listening that think, you know, me and Nick have all this figured out and that, you know, this stuff just flows, it doesn't. It's something that we constantly have to work on. We constantly readdress our goals. We constantly readdress our aspirations, and our weaknesses and our limiting factors, we address those the most because that's something that we double down on. So Nick, I got a question for you, man.
Well, real quick, even before that, just exactly what Zach was talking about, and I talked about with George as well, is that they don't, people that are watching right now or whoever may be, no one gets to see the backside of all the shit you've gone through. No one gets to see the pile of hard work, dedication, whatever it may be. No one sees that. But at the end of the day, there's something like this with the doors or anything that you actually put time and effort into, you have to realize that you're going to get better if you continue to struggle and push through with perseverance and patience. And that's exactly what we've been doing.
And biggest thing, Nick, sorry for interrupting.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
The biggest thing, man, I just feel like you've got to ask yourself two questions. And one of it is, who am I when no one's around? When you're pure alone, who are you? And I'm going to give you a second before I tell you the second question, but who are you? And then your second question, because this is going to be hard. It's going to be hard for you to create something. You know, me and Nick, we go through this every day. But the second question is, how much quit do you have in you? Because I got to tell you, if you're a quitter, you're never going to win.
I mean, and I've been in situations like this. Like, I've tried many sports and different things. I mean, at the end of the day, like, I was in gymnastics, and anyone knows that has competed in any sport or done anything that requires any superlative amount of effort. Like, if you get to a point and you watch other people that are better than you and you want to get better, or you just give up, if you give up, you're not going to win against them. You're not going to beat yourself. At the end of the day, you have to put the time and effort to continually better yourself to either win those competitions or even be better than yourself, which is harder to do sometimes. So I feel you. It's wild, man. It's wild.
It really is, man. And, you know, one of the things that I see often is, you know, it's like, okay, let's picture it right now. You know, it's kind of cold outside, but your goal is this big old swimming pool. Okay? That's your goal, right?
Yeah.
So if that was your goal, hell, we'd be doing backflips, front flips, everything into it, wouldn't we, Nick?
Yeah.
But most of the time, people just want to dip their toes in it. It's too cold. It's not the right temperature for me. I can't swim.
Listen, after you're done with this analogy, I want to remind you of something because I just talked about it as well, and it's important. It's good. It's a good factor onto this. Continue. Sorry.
Excellent. So you dip your toes in it. You walk around it. You know, you sit on the chair beside it, but you're not giving or putting 100% of yourself in that pool, in that goal, in that aspiration, or circumstance that you're trying to get rid of. Put your whole heart, your whole head, your whole body into it, and you will make it happen. You will. But it's going to be on you to decide whether or not you're going to do this, because no one's going to do it for you. And Nick knows this firsthand.
Damn right. I mean, hands down. And here's a real good like analogy. I realized that on it. What's so great about what we've done at all today for the doors is that we took our single step, and that's we can commit and understand, believe in it, because all we've been doing is taking one step forward every single day. But what people do is they have these dreams. Some people, I'm just going to categorize a generalization of some people, because I've been that person and I've seen it with the people I communicate with, is they dream so big about having these lofty goals, which it can be anything. It doesn't have to have anything to do with money. Success is in the eye of the beholder, but they have these lofty goals about success. And what they do is they think so big, which is fan-fucking-tastic. You better dream big. I'm a big dreamer too. But in the end, they only think about big steps. Whereas, isn't a small step still a step?
Hey, you want to say that one more time? I think somebody missed it.
You have to remember that a single step doesn't have to be so big. It can be any size. If you literally, I put it in this analogy the other day. If I want to make the conference exactly what I'm talking about, one of my goals that I want to do with the doors, me and Zach have talked about it a lot, is imagine if it could be any time. 50 years in the future is when I'm setting my time limit for this conference. If I put in 1 minute a day for 50 years, that's a lot of time. But that 1 minute is a singular step. It could even be 30 seconds. But that's a singular step. You don't have to think so big. You don't have to always do the biggest things to end up getting where you want to be. It's the smallest step repeated 10,000 times.
Yep. Think small and dream big, dude. Think small and dream big.
And like, especially for this, like this goes into like how my 5-year goal, like again, as I'm starting to build more into where I am, I'm going to be close to 30 and wanting to develop more of my life. My biggest hurdle is going to be staying true to my intentions and to myself. And that's one of the things I've been struggling with, because being honest and upfront about situations has not been my strong suit my entire life. And that goes exactly along with letting my actions speak louder than my words. I have to be able to be honest and true with my situation and who I am and what I'm doing. I can't be blindfolded by the fact that I want to be something else or what I'm doing. I have to be honest with where I'm at and then take steps to become who I want to be. And I wrote this right here. The reason why that's so important is because no matter what circumstances I face, it is tough to make decisions that always correlate with what I want to become. You can't always be that person that you're trying to become. But to become what I want to become, I must be who I'm meant to be. And the only way to do that is to be honest and true.
Dang, man. I don't know about y'all, but I got some chill bumps right now. Wow.
I'm gonna take a sip now.
You know, man, and yeah, you're good. I'm gonna take a drink of my tea as well. So if y'all need anything, get you a water break real fast. But you know,
need some water after that. He needs some milk.
Yep. Someone's thirsty.
I'm dead.
But you got to remember to stay rooted in who you are as a person. You know, these dreams and these aspirations that, you know, are burning inside of you, these things that you want to do, they're there for a reason. But you've also got to realize, too, that there's detrimental sides of that. Because sometimes some of the greatest, maybe your goal is to get back with an old spouse, or maybe, you know, you're trying to save someone that you've constantly had to deal with, or, you know, you're struggling at this job. maybe these things that are going, maybe these things that have been unanswered for you, they're not for you. And God wants better for you. So think about that. Think about that at the whole. Is this good for me? Is this pushing me towards the direction that I want to go? Not that Jane and Sue and Nicholas and Zach wanted you to go. Where do you want to go?
And y'all, here's a real good, like, I was talking to a friend of mine who's feeling a little lost at the moment right now. And he was just talking about how he has so many ideas, but he has no idea where he's meant to go. He has no idea where he's meant to be. He has no idea what his ultimate goals are. And I said, I followed something that Matthew McConaughey talked about in Green Lights again, and I've used it on occasions, and it helps. It's just as we're doing the opposite technique in trying to set our goals right now by looking at the hurdles we'll have to face. The same thing with who we are and who we want to be. Sometimes it's much easier to understand who you're not than who you are, because we're always going to be finding and taking the path to find who we are. That is a lifelong journey, and I don't expect to stop it for the entirety of my life. So find the things that don't fit you, just like a puzzle. We're going along and finding those puzzle pieces as we go along in life that fit and correlate and connect and ultimately form who we are. But if you have a puzzle piece that doesn't fit, don't force it to be there. You don't have to. Just like the hurdles we face, we can come to understand what those are and either dismiss them or find a way to make them actually useful in our lives.
It's like what we said, man. Don't be scared to turn and burn that page in your life. And you keep knocking on that door. You keep knocking and you keep knocking. And if you decide you really, really want it, well, guess what? You beat the damn door down.
Exactly.
But it's going to all be on you. You cannot control the things you can't control. And I know that's going to confuse you, so I'm going to say it again. But control the things that you cannot control. And I'm really bad about this. I waste so much time and energy and everything, being worried about things that I have no control over. Whether it's a person, whether it's a place that you want to change, or it's a coworker, or maybe it's just a talent that you really want, but you just can't seem to grasp. Let go of that control. There is power in surrendering. There is power in having faith in something higher than yourself. There's power in that. And I don't want you to feel weak. I don't want you to think, well, I surrendered. No, this is it. No. The surrendering I'm talking about is going to leave you full of energy. It's going to lead you full of energy and push you towards your goals. It's going to be like a guiding light towards you. But you have to let go of the ego. You have to let go of, I want this, so it's going to happen now. It's not on your time, guys. It's not. As much as we would like it to be, sometimes things are just kind of out of our reach.
Ooh, I got so much to say about this. Keep going. This is so good.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
But,
Finish.
Okay. So to wrap it all up.
Oh, no. I got something to say. Okay, cool.
God.
After that.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. No, completely to what he's saying. You have to be okay with all that. And for, like, again, as this exercise we're talking about hurdles and goals and understanding these things as you're moving forward, so that you can almost allow yourself to take the steps over those hurdles, or to understand your biggest things that you need to go, but it takes time though. So I'm gonna tell you what my 10-year one is, because it talks about this a lot. Like, it talks about exactly what he's talking about is in 10 years, I think in the next 10 years, I think the biggest hurdle I'll have to face is being able to give forgiveness, give leeway, and also to find the patience and perseverance to last the test of time. You have to be okay with understanding that it's going to be okay. That if you have a goal, it doesn't have to be, it's not always going to be streamlined. Sometimes you have to set a goal and allow life to happen and continue making the actions forward, and then they'll fall in place like a puzzle, like divine intervention, like destiny. You have to be able to forgive those things that happen to yourself for the actions that you've taken. You have to have leeway to forgive others, the things that you've done. And you have to be able to be patient to get to that goal and the perseverance to get over those hurdles. Time isn't easy, and neither is life. Be open and love each moment, because you only have one life to live. And to get even a little more depth into that, come to understand each moment and give that moment the credit it deserves. I'm done.
Woo! Woo! Woo!
I'm done.
Well, for you guys listening, this is going to be something that Nick and I are ultimately proud of. And one of the things that we've talked about the most is the gift of giving back. And when you come from a place of we instead of a place of me, your tithes are going to change. The way you want to give is going to change. The way you act will change. Your attitude will change. It's this evangelistic mindset where you no longer worry about yourself, because you know that no matter what, it's going to work out. And that's how these goals should be for you. No matter what, you don't worry about them. You leave them to something higher, and you do the absolute best that you can with what you have. So I'm going to do a practical exercise with you guys just real fast. So if you're driving, if you're doing something, just take a second, and it won't take but a few minutes. Grab you a pen and paper at the top corner. And then our step 1, I want you to define your goal. And if you need to pause this during this, so you can do it, that's perfectly okay. But I really like for you guys to take the time out, because this will help you in the long run. So,
Y'all,
we've
you
written our
can
name
real
in our
quick.
top.
And real quick, if you're going to do this, y'all, you don't got to be super serious, but look, write down something. Just do it real quick. Why not? What are you wasting 2 minutes of your life for? Do it.
Yeah.
Come on. You already listened to this podcast.
What's 2 minutes for 10 years ahead, So write your name, your age, and the date in the top corner. Step 1, define that goal. What is it that you want to accomplish? Ask yourself this question. Close your eyes and ask yourself, what is it that I want to accomplish? I'll give you just a second. Step 2, ask yourself, how can I get there? These are going to be your tactics. These are going to be your sheath. So make sure you write those down and really, really go in depth with those. It doesn't have to be much, just something little.
Or even the smallest little thing. What's one thing that you can do to accomplish that goal? One step.
Step 3, list your limiting factors and how do you deal with them.
For me, it would be procrastination and also planning.
Planning is a big one, man. And consistency is something that's really hard too. Like being consistent with something, it just really proves how much you love it,
Yeah.
All right. And this is going to be step 4, but this is a big one. because this is going to put energy towards your goals, your aspirations. This is going to really give you something to work towards. I want you to set a deadline for these goals. Now, this could be something 10 years in the future. So, you can be kind of vague. But when you set that deadline and you close your book or you put that piece of paper away, no matter where you put it, just remember. And in a few weeks, I want you to go back and I want you to revisit this. I want you to look at this and see how close you are to achieving these goals.
Or even to the extent of a long-term goal, whether it be me, like me starting a conference. What are the things that I'm doing to do that? Well, if I go back and look at the things that I've been journaling about, I can look at the amount, like the paragraphs of things that I've put my time and attention towards. And even writing that down is a step forward. I'm getting closer to accomplishing that goal.
Yeah. So, are you guys listening out there? Because that thing that's distilled that you can't do, it's possible, guys. It's possible. You just have to plan it. You have to live it. You have to be it. So, Nick, what would be some advice, and then I'll do my 1, 5, and 10, but what would be some advice you would give to someone who's just starting into goal setting?
I think I reiterated earlier. As someone who, from a perspective, who isn't that driven, or for someone who hasn't set many goals, as a beginner that I have been as well, y'all, it just takes a little bit of effort. If you have a goal to eat food today, you're gonna make food because you have to eat anyways. But that's like if you open the door of the fridge, you're taking steps to accomplish your goal. You don't have to think about these things that you want to accomplish as so crazy and huge sometimes, because if you understand that you can be perseverant as well as take the steps necessary to go there, which means you're determined and you can be patient, which is not easy. I'm an impatient fuck, y'all. But if you can understand those things and you can withstand the time and the phases you go through during that thing, the circumstance you want to accomplish, you'll get there. If you want to accomplish your goal, put actions behind it and you'll do it. Just be patient.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, Zach. And so to wrap the rest of this podcast up, let's hear your 1, 5, and 10, and then I want to say something at the end. Let's hear it. Bring it home.
Okay. So my 1 year, my goal is, and I'm going to do this real quick for you guys. So I just kind of summarized it in 3 words. So my 1 year is going to be find me, find what I love and what I'm doing. And I'm doing that now, but work more on the doors, attract potential clients, change a life, and ultimately continue to do and my limiting factor, I want to be in control so bad, but I've realized that I have to let some of it go. I've got to surrender. And the other limiting factor for my 1 year goal, and this is going to be what it is for us all, is give 100% of myself to my goals. Whether that's putting myself in uncomfortable situations to make me grow, whether it's doing stuff that I don't like to do, whatever it is, I need to give my all. My 5-year term, at this point in my life, I'll be 32 years old, guys. all businesses fail. A 5-year term, I put 2 things, and one of them kind of coincided with what you said, Nick, and it was being consistent and staying true to who I am. And I really hope in these next 5 years, guys, that I can make my passion my paydays. You know, I like to do fitness. I like to do martial arts. Me and Nick love the Doors, and we want to travel. We want to do a conference so we can meet you guys in person. Over those 5 years, we want to master this craft. We want to be able to be in a financial surplus where we can do things like this. I want to obtain at least 3 black belts and continue to work hard, pushing towards competitions. And I think all of that mastering my craft stuff will come with time, but that's kind of the goal for 5 years. So now I'm at my 10-year term, guys. In 10 years, I know you may be thinking, well, 10 years is far away. Wow, why are you putting expectations on 10 years? This is just a guideline for me to go off of so that I can see that the work I'm doing is leading me up to this, you could call it a payday, achievement, a goal, whatever you want to call it. But this is my life. This is the life that I want to live. So my 10-year term, in which everyone always says they want to be a millionaire, but I come from a pretty poor upbringing. So in 10 years, I would love, and I will, and this is me putting it in existence, I will become a millionaire. I want to write. I want to sell many books. I want to travel, speak, and teach the things that I've learned so that maybe I can help other people and save a lot of lives. I want to be one of the 1%ers in the world. I want to be one of those people. I want to be a great role model to the youth, to the new generation. And I feel like my limiting factors for that 10-year term is staying flexible and mobile, not getting lost in the world, because it's very easy to do, especially when, stuff starts coming your way, whether you're traveling, you're speaking, you're writing, you're making more money, stuff starts getting in the way. Those limiting factors start coming up and biting you and pulling you left to right like a negative anchor. So I want to really make sure I remember how I felt right now, how I felt last year when I was climbing back up. I want to remember those things. And I feel like if I can do that, I'll be able to make all my dreams and goals come true. But I wrote at the bottom, Nick, and this is my ultimate goal, and I talked to Nick about this a lot. I want to change the world. And I feel like right now, and I hope for the rest of my life, my goal is bringing more people to self-actualize themselves, bring more people to God, bring more people to realize that they have the ability to create their own legacy. And I would love to see each and every one of you do that.
Whew. Damn. And Zach, to that, I'm going to end I'm going to end this with a statement that I continually tell myself to understand that I am on the path that I want to be on. Any action you move to help others or to even improve yourself, you're going to change the world. It's just one single step. Y'all, we're the developers of our own opportunities, reinventing success. And we sit here to reinvent the ways that people understand the things they're trying to accomplish and what it actually means successfully to them. Don't take life for granted. Go out there and go be great, okay? Have a great day, y'all. And thank you for listening.